Good morning, Focus. My name is Michael Scobey. I'm the student pastor at Parkway Life Church here in Lumberton, Texas. They asked me to do a short video to talk about some junior high ministry points, and so we're going to do that. We're going to talk for just a moment. Let's hop right in. If you have a baseball bat wherever you're at, if you could put your head on it, and I want you to spin about 100 times, and I'll wait for you to do that right quick. Okay, that would take forever. I'm not going to wait for you to do that. But if you did, you would be crazy dizzy, right? You would be crazy dizzy. That is exactly what being a junior higher in today's culture and society feels like. That's what they feel like. Guys, our culture is very intentional with the messages that it wants to portray to our students and our young people today. And for the most part, we don't believe and we don't agree with those messages that they portray. How much more should we be intentional with the things that we speak and then also the things that we program? I read a book at one time that told me that more changes in a junior higher's life, 6th to 8th grade, physically, emotionally, spiritually, and psychologically in those 3 years than it will in the rest of their life. That's pretty crazy. Guys, we've got to be intentional about the things that we're preaching, the things that we're programming, the things that we're planning on a week-to-week basis. I'd like to challenge you to actually look at what you've preached over the last 2 months, 3 months. Look at the subjects, list the things that you've talked about. Then at that point, examine your group, pray about it, and let God speak to you. I believe God will bless it if you will plan it. If you will pray about it and let God speak it into your life, I believe God encourages us to be able to plan months ahead of time. That's a good thing. If God can speak to us ahead of time and give us subjects to speak about and to talk with our students, and that helps us to be intentional and to combat what the world is doing, what the culture of today is fighting against us. So I think that will help you. One thing I want to point out to you is that not all growth is healthy. Not all growth is healthy. I was leading a student ministry one time, and when we took it over, it was kind of a small deal, and we ended up starting a bus ministry, and we got into the schools, and we did everything at once, and we started an after-school program. We did everything, and we went from this particular student ministry from 17 people to about running anywhere from 60 to 70 in about a 2-month time period. And I thought it was just tremendous growth. I thought it was just great revival. I thought we were having great, it was awesome. It was awesome. Well, until one Wednesday night, I walk out into the worship center, and I walk out into the lounge, and I see these 2 8th graders are like pounding each other, bro. They're just pounding each other. And my wife, my beautiful little wife that's about 5'3" and not a lot of pounds on her, okay? She went and actually had to break up a fight between 2 8th graders that completely outweighed her, and she had a dude in a chokehold. I'm telling you, she just like let it rip. Guys, at that point, I realized in my mind, this is growth, but it's not healthy growth. We weren't staffed properly. We weren't ready for that kind of growth. We weren't ready for it. Guys, let me encourage you today. You need to grow healthy. You need to establish a healthy staff. What does a healthy staff look like? Not just people that are standing around, sitting on the wall, kind of talking about, no. You want to train shepherds, not chaperones. Write that down. Put that on your billboard. Tweet it, whatever you got to do. Shepherds, not chaperones. God, you do not want chaperones. You want shepherds, people that are going to get in your students' lives, and they're going to love them, and they're going to pastor them, because you're not going to be able to pastor everybody. You've got to have help. It's important that we grow at a healthy pace. If your room can only hold 100 people, don't plan on bussing in 400 people. It's just not healthy. It's not healthy for anybody. Make it a healthy growth process for your group. It'll help your effectiveness, and once again, that's part of being intentional. Finally, the last point I want to make is this. Growing up, my dad loved to fish, and I was not a fisherman. But one time, my dad wanted to take me fishing, and I was really I was playing video games, doing that thing, Super Mario. Yeah, I know I'm old, but I was playing Super Mario. And my dad said, "Well, is this where the fish are?" And I said, "No, sir." He said, "You need to get to where the fish are. You need to get to the pond. You've got to get to the pond." Guys, there's no better place for us as student pastors to be than in the schools. There's no better place for us to be. I've talked to so many student pastors, they freak out. They say, well, how? Where do I even start? I mean, we've got so many schools around. Where do I even start? Let me help you. I'm going to give you a couple of practical tips on how to start. You need to start, the number one thing you need to do, have a meeting with the principal. With one of the area schools. Just pick one. Whichever one you have the most students that go to. Go and meet with the principal. Now, when you go in there, don't go in there with the thought that you're going to preach, that you're going to speak at rallies, that you're going to do. No. You're not going to offer to preach anything. You're not going to offer to speak anything. But rather, you're going to go in there and offer to volunteer to clean the toilets. I know. It's exciting, isn't it? No, you're not going to volunteer to travel with the football team to all the district events and do all that fun. No. You're going to volunteer to sit in the in-school detention area with the troubled students that are struggling. Guys, I promise you that if you can find a way into the school that you will volunteer. Guys, just volunteer. Love people. Volunteer. I promise you they will end up, trust will be established and other opportunities will come with that. Guys, I have been in schools personally before that have been very standoffish, that have been like, no, you cannot be here. Here's what, legally, this is what you had the opportunity to do. You can meet with your students during a lunch period in a separate room, whether it be a conference room or something else. If that's the only thing that they'll allow you to do, start there. That's okay. Start there, because here's the deal. If you start a lunch Bible study, I've got a friend that does that, and it has grown tremendously. What happened was they started with one lunch Bible study with about 15 people. Well, people started coming. They outgrew that room, and they had to go to a bigger room. Then they outgrew the second room and had to go to an even bigger room. Guys, stretch yourself, but don't stretch their boundaries. Stretch yourself, but don't stretch their boundaries. Play within their rules. That's okay. Guys, we want to help the schools. We're not against the schools. We want to help them. It's very, very important. Whatever their rules are, play by those rules and impact students. If you have to get in there and clean toilets just so you can fist bump a guy that's going out of the bathroom that may be contemplating suicide, that makes it worth it. That makes it worth it, student pastor. Guys, I hope that I helped you today. I hope that I encouraged you. But I want to really, really encourage you as we go. Get to the pond. Get to the pond. Get where the students are. I love you all. I believe in you. If there's anything that we can do to help you, we're here for you. God bless. Let's go win the world.